Well, that goes into this other segment that I wanted to do. Again, we'll lean on Luke a little bit today because he's the
Mhm.
literal expert on this. But like, what do you make of the DOJ seemingly interfering? Like, do you think what level of interference are we going to see? Are we going to get anything of value from these files? Obviously, we may find out. Right now, where I'm at is I thought we're just going to get what we already know repackaged. That's what I thought we were going to get. Do you think, Luke, based on everything you know and your sources, that we're actually going to see anything new?
I think so. Absolutely. There's still so much information as the general public only is still scratching the surface when it comes to this larger story. We only know very little when it comes to this entire saga here. We're talking about previous Department of Justices literally going to Epstein and saying, hey, Epstein, we'll give you a sweetheart deal of a lifetime if you just snitch on Trump. You implicate Trump here, we'll make sure you get.
We know that happened.
Yeah. We'll make sure that you go to country club jail. We'll go easy on you.
They did
or
that
else
to
we're going to go very
Enrique.
heavy on you.
They did the same thing to Enrique Tarrio.
Exactly.
They said if you snitch on Trump, we won't put you in prison. And when he refused to, they put him in prison for 20 years.
Yes. And this is, again, that specific deal that was offered to Epstein was offered up by Trump's own DOJ. So right now, this was his previous administration. This time around, things are a lot different here. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of related to what's happening with Operation Whirlwind. If you remember, the corporate media was kind of freaking out saying, the Republicans are looking for retribution. No, they're looking for people that are threatening the lives of Republicans and trying to intimidate them from being able to investigate a lot of these things. So I believe Operation Whirlwind was created just for this very specific reason, in order to safeguard and protect a lot of these people that are coming forward and trying to get these documents out there to the general public. I hope we get the truth. So far, Pam Bondi has told us the documents were on her desk last week. She told us that they were, about to be released, and then there was a little bit of a hiccup here. The explanation doesn't make sense. Something else is going on here behind the scenes that we could only speculate on.
Yeah, I mean, going to some of the forces here holding things. I mean, generally, when you give someone or something power, they don't want to give it up. And in this case, that power is information. Melonie, what do you make of kind of the forces of good versus evil here? Like, this is pretty wild. Like, if they really come out and say like, hey, yep, hypothetically, Charlie Sheen was on the Epstein flight 15 times.
Right.
But we get like a handful of new names that are very popular. What do you make of the possibility of an exchange being made at this island?
Oh.
Like, I think that a lot of these people, exchange whatever happened on that island for fame down the road. And I think that deal was probably with evil forces.
Yeah, I think absolutely. A ton of people who have gained a massive level of fame had to partake in whatever rituals or crazy stuff that is associated with that. So I do think that some people can be exposed that they will allow. Mm-hmm. So, okay, we're going to let this guy take the fall, or we're going to let P. Diddy take the fall, for example, things like that. But I think as a whole, I don't expect to see just like complete veil off of all of the full extent of the corruption going on until we are nearing tribulation, actual end times. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion, but I think, okay, we might find out a little bit of information, but for it just to be like, whoa, the veil is lifted. This is because I think ultimately the level of corruption that's going on in the world with not only just Hollywood, the music industry, even the governments at large, like politics, all of that, there's like, it's rampant. Even in gaming right now, we're seeing, because that's taking off more.
Yeah.
So I think for us to truly, we only know just such a fraction of the corruption and the evil going on in this world right now. But yeah, one day the veil will be lifted.
Well, the timing of this is very interesting because we're very close to the 97th Academy Awards.
Yes, we are.
Right?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if a lot of powerful people like Kevin Spacey specifically are mentioned here. Chris Tucker is another one
Chris
that
Tucker
we know
took several flights. Yeah.
took several flights on the Lolita Express with
Yeah.
Bill Clinton. Bill
Yeah.
Clinton ditched his Secret Service 12 times that we know about.
And didn't
Now, what
Chris
about all
Tucker
the-
like he kind of like found God and disappeared?
Yes.
Or like
he
once
kinda
this
did
started
Dave
going
Chappelle.
on.
He
Yes.
kinda
Yeah.
did a Dave Chappelle where he just like disappeared out of nowhere because they probably were doing what they were doing to what they were trying to do with Cat Williams. Cat Williams
Yes.
described how he had meetings with Weinstein and how Weinstein was offering him all these celebrity actresses like playing cards to do whatever he wanted to do.
I
with.
believe him, by the way, too.
Right. Yeah.
Show
Well,
me a lie
that's-
that Cat Williams is told.
I
You
know. I saw this one rapper on TikTok. He was saying that like he didn't get to be as famous as he could have been because like once he had like a hit, then he got approached
He
by
wouldn't put the dress on.
well,
yeah.
but they asked him to
Mhm.
make love to a pig
Yeah.
while they watched and recorded it, and he wouldn't do it.
That's one of many things that they forced them to do.
Yeah.
And you look at the upper echelons of our society, especially in Hollywood, it's a lot of these really bad predators out there. So I expect the Prime Minister of Australia to be implicated here. His daughter was also seen
Yep.
with Jeffrey Epstein. I expect Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, and Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, Alan Dershowitz, Stephen Hawking. There's Ed
Stephen
Ehud
Hawking.
Barak, the former Prime Minister of Israel.
Oh my God! Thank you.
What?
Wait.
I can't.
Ow! Affirmative. That's my impression of Stephen Hawking.
Yeah.
Getting pleased at the island.
But listen, there's probably some other individuals too. There's a possibility of individuals like Oprah, Ellen DeGeneres, Alec Baldwin. I mean,
I
it's
know.
all-
Oprah, isn't she? Did she leave the country, or is she saying she's going to already?
Yeah, there's some. I mean, Ellen left. There's a lot of people that
Yeah.
left the country.
Yeah. So, I think this could really reach a very, very dangerous level where we could see some of these people, leaving the country or potentially even offed. So, if that happens, that's when the cover-up operation has been blown and going absolutely haywire and going absolutely crazy. So keep an eye out for that. That's what I'm keeping an eye out. But again, it wouldn't surprise me if those other names that I mentioned there would all be implicated here as well. There's so many possibilities here that, again, we're just left speculating because
Howard Stern.
there's so much.
I'm looking at anybody weird who took a hard left turn.
Yeah.
Like,
DC Drano just confirmed what I was just telling you guys earlier, that there's court documents specifically from the Southern District of New York that will be delivered to the DOJ by February 28th. Now, these are the documents that I've been talking about that have been, of course, redacted, but one of many documents. We got to understand that there was a judge in this particular case that had their family taken out.
Correct. Yes.
That specifically started to rule in favor of this larger cover-up effort here. So there's so much to kind of connect the dots on here. But again, the court documents are there. The flight logs are there. The government's reaction to this and their larger kind of participation in all of this, it's very clear. And this is huge. This is big. And this is something that will change the face of Hollywood, of government, of our financial system. A bunch of tech bros were involved here. Bill Gates was doing scientific experiments with Jeffrey Epstein, according to many sources that were close to both of these individuals, as they were both working on larger eugenics, population control, scientific experiments that was literally trying to spread the seed of Jeffrey Epstein while also working on surveillance
in aerosol
dolls.
form.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were working on dolls that would literally surveil and have cameras inside of their eyeballs for children to play with. That's the type of weird stuff that we know just very little about. The FBI here never raided his property in New Mexico for some strange reason.
No, they didn't.
As of
What
course,
a weird thing.
yeah. The governor of New Mexico a couple of years ago, Bill Richardson, was sweating like a pig when I was confronting him about all the seedy, pervy things he was doing at the Bohemian Grove, a place where they knowingly, admittedly bring in male prostitutes. So the governor,
That's where they worship the owl, right?
Yeah. I'm calling it now. The governor of New Mexico, Bill Richardson, who passed away, will also be implicated here, since clearly he played a larger involvement here and allowed Jeffrey Epstein to have this kind of huge ranch that you can only fly a helicopter to. You couldn't drive in there. You only could fly a helicopter in there. The reason they did that is because that was their kind of ranch where they did all the sick, horrible stuff that your mind can't even fathom.
Yeah, it is going to be. Somebody said earlier in chat, like, your childhood will be ruined. And like, they said, like, this is Pandora's box. Your childhood will be ruined. I would not be surprised if there are beloved people on the, if
For real.
like, you know, like really like Robin Williams or something like something like that, where it'd be like, man, you know, Norm Macdonald or something like that, where it's just going to be like, ugh. You know, one thing that I can say for sure is that Trump's probably not on these lists. Because
because they would have exposed him.
It would have revealed
was.
that. Yeah, they would have revealed that. Yeah.
Trump was close to Epstein in the early 90s. So
yeah, and he banned him from his hotels once he found out he was a creep.
We got that confirmation from Don Jr. when me and Josie, the redheaded libertarian, were talking to him, and he officially went on the record and told us, because a lot of us were saying that this was hearsay, a lot of us were saying that this is rumor, but I got, you know, with Josie, the redheaded libertarian, official confirmation from Don Jr. himself that yes, Epstein was kicked out. And then there was a lawyer representing the victim that talked about how Donald Trump was one of the
he like protected her, right?
One of the only powerful people that came forward and specifically helped out some of the victims with information about Epstein. And then him and Epstein also had a real estate dispute, and the two fell out with their kind of you know, friendship that they had previously beforehand. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is something that federal agents were looking to link Trump in that are in some of these federal documents. I say release it all, just so we know the full purview here.
Don't leave any questions.
Can't say it's edited, just so people can't say, you know, it's altered. But again, when you have the DOJ coming to Epstein and saying, give us dirt on Trump, it's highlighting that they were trying to cook something up against Trump with Epstein. So what's going to be released there? I want to see the documents. I want to see the minutes. I want to see the documents related to Trump's own DOJ trying to set up Donald Trump and arrest Donald Trump for the Epstein saga. I want to see those documents.
They tried to honeypot him. James Comey in 2016 sent 2 female, allegedly, FBI agents to try and honeypot Trump. And it didn't work. And that was off the books. You know, that was just released this week. Let me go to...
Wait, say that again, because people didn't pick that up, because that's an important...
James Comey in 2016 is implicated in an off-the-books operation trying to honeypot Donald Trump while he was running for president. Meaning they had no evidence of a crime, but they sent in 2 pretty girls hoping that Trump would spill the beans about a crime. James Comey worked directly, in my opinion anyway, with the Hillary Clinton campaign to try and sink, or the deep state, whoever. He worked to try and sink a presidential candidate at that time. When there was no evidence of any crime to investigate, he took it upon himself to send it off the books, meaning this was not an official FBI investigation, to try and get Donald Trump on a crime, which, you know, he should be very worried right now. Like, he should go to prison for that.
Yes, all of them. As of course, they weren't doing their job. They were just trying to arrest their political opponents, and in many instances, they did. They were looking, investigating, raiding people's homes. They raided Trump's home, right?
They raided James O'Keefe.
So let's be honest here. If Trump was guilty with anything related to Epstein, the DOJ, under Trump, under Biden, that was trying to do everything they could to have people flip on him, would have used it already. So that, in my opinion, exonerates Donald Trump here from what a lot of the left Reddit-oids and libtards are talking about today. As of course,
apparently all work at the CIA too. And NSA.
You look at Reddit, it's one big psyop right now. It's one big fake news factory for the establishment, and luckily they're losing a lot of their sway, they're losing a lot of their influence, and a lot of people aren't falling for the propaganda anymore. When Elon Musk and that video of him allegedly abandoning his son on stage came out and was heavily edited, that was like 20 posts on the front page of Reddit, right? But they didn't talk about how the full clip, you know, exonerated him.
He
of
obviously
that.
stopped. Yeah.